So George Crook had been a soldier, an officer in the U.S. Civil War. After the Civil War, he began fighting Indians. So I should clarify, I've been trying to say Native American, but most people in the United States who identify as Native American call themselves Indians or American Indians. So I've been trying to say Native American because I'm in the UAE and like more than 25% of the population is Indian, and I realized if I said Indian, that would be really confusing from time to time. So, and I just did it, I said it. So anyway, he had been fighting the Indians from 1867 all the way to this point, which is the 1780s. He gets assigned the duty of taking care of the Chiricahua. I want to give you just a brief story about Crook to make him make sense in your head. So Crook was assigned to go get a guy named Standing Bear. So Standing Bear was a Ponca. The Ponca were in Nebraska. The United States went to them and said, look, you guys have been really peaceful, you're wonderful, but we really don't want you here. We want this land in Nebraska to be transferred over to white people, and so you need to leave. And so they had told him, we'll put you on a reservation. He thought the Omaha reservation in Nebraska. The next thing he knows, his family is being marched to Oklahoma, and his nation is being marched to Oklahoma, to the Ogahpa reservation in Oklahoma. Actually, I think they also went to two other reservations. By the way, Ogahpa is spelled Quapaw. Ogahpa, just like it sounds. People from the US are really good at spelling. I am awful, but I feel like it's really important to learn how to spell those words. So I've gone out of my way to figure it out. So Crook is dispatched to get Standing Bear because when the Ponca showed up at the Ogahpa reservation, they got hit by cholera or dysentery, I don't remember which, and a bunch of them die. And one of the people that dies is Standing Bear's son. And he wants to bury his son in Nebraska, so he goes off reservation and starts heading back to Nebraska with, like 20 or 30 other people and his son's body on a horse. And so Crook shows up with the army. And Standing Bear isn't hiding, he's just walking in the open. And Crook goes, what are you doing? You're off reservation. And Standing Bear goes, yeah, I want to bury my son in Nebraska. And Crook goes, wait, what? Is that's why you've left? He goes, yeah. And Crook goes, you mean they called out the United States Army because a grieving father wanted to bury his son in his homeland? And Standing Bear goes, I don't know, you're the one that got the orders. And Crook loses it. He takes Standing Bear to the spot to bury the son, gives him $50, takes him to Missouri, goes over to the court and says, this man needs to hire an attorney. So they hire the attorney with the $50, and then he tells the attorney, sue me. So it creates a Missouri State court case called Standing Bear v. Crook, 1879. The United States' position was that Standing Bear had no basis to sue because Standing Bear claimed that his habeas corpus rights were being violated because he was Indian, and Indians aren't persons under the law. And the judge went, that's BS, I'm not going that way. He overruled the federal case and said, no, American Indians are people under the law, and habeas corpus applies, and ruled in favor of Standing Bear. And of course, Crook and him are giving each other high fives, and Standing Bear casually walks back to the Ogahpa reservation. In a really weird way, this guy ends up becoming, as an Indian fighter, Indian civil rights activist. And so the Native Americans didn't hate his guts. They fought him. They fought him tooth and nail. This was war, but they respected him. They thought he was operating on a different level. When he's assigned the job of going and getting the 130 or so Apache who have gone off reservation, he's like, I could bring 1,000 men. I'll never capture Geronimo and his 130 men. That's not possible. So he goes to Clum's police and he goes, I know you're Apache, but you're the only people on the planet that could possibly go get those Apaches. Can I hire you to go do this? And the Apache agree because they believe that Geronimo being at war is causing the death of too many Apaches. They want to just surrender. Their thinking is, if we surrender, if we pitch this thing, maybe the United States will genocide us at a slower pace. It won't be this full-fledged pace. And so they agree, and they go and they start looking for Geronimo. For the record, Crook will serve for another year or two in the Army dealing with Native American stuff. He retires and then becomes an activist pushing back against the cruelty the United States had inflicted on Native Americans. And then a couple of years later, mysteriously dies at age like 62. We don't know why. He was in Chicago working on Native American issues and he just keels over. I feel like we should exhume his body and see if he was poisoned, but that's just me. Anyway.